Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 4, Episode 2. If you're counting at home, that's 152 episodes. My name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are back, Craig, because there is more beer to be drank, and we have to talk about the running backs.
We do.
So, it's draft prep season, baby. If you're not already I'm in a draft right now. I mean, I'm literally in a draft right now. So if you're not prepping, you are now behind schedule. You were behind schedule before. Now you're even worse behind schedule. You are not typing your term paper the night before it's due. You are typing your term paper in the class when it's due. So it is time to get to work. But let's first start where we always start. Craig, what are you drinking tonight?
So today, sidebar, if anyone notices I sound different, I changed up mics. So I'm using the mic that Britt normally uses when he's here, so I'm just giving it a whirl.
So now you'll get the soothing tones that you normally get from me when I'm over there in the Blake Bortles Memorial Studio. But yeah, you do. You sound deeper is the word I would use to. You sound like you could be doing some voiceovers for like some sort of late night programming, like Friday Nights is brought to you by Spam. Open a can.
Some
Spam.
Smooth jazz.
Yeah, you're almost to smooth jazz level, I would have to say. That's pretty accurate.
All right. Accurate. So this beer is a new beer. This is called Superhero Sidekicks IPA by Kings County Brewers Collective in Brooklyn, New York.
I have heard of this beer.
It's Citra, Mosaic, Idaho 7, Centennial, and Cascade.
That's a lot of different hops.
That is. So we're gonna try it.
I don't know that I love all the different. I don't want 75 hops. I really don't. You know, there's really only one hop I absolutely won't drink, and that's Idaho 7. I know people love it.
Wasn't that in King Sue?
Yes. Well, maybe, but there was a lot of Citra in King Sue too.
True.
But Idaho 7 was used. Remember that first trip we made to Bad Sons in the Valley that we didn't enjoy it? Like half the beers we tried were Idaho 7 beers. So yeah. I have not gone to the store, and I bought that whole case from New Park about 3 weeks ago. So I'm still working off of that, but I'm starting to empty my beer fridge. So I have a double fragment tonight.
Ooh,
from
nice.
New Park, just one of the ones that Craig likes. Let's pop that guy open. So, and we're not going to waste any time, Craig. There's so much going on. We are going straight into burning hot takes. I'm not even. Let's get what this one tastes like. I'd like your taste sample first. I'm sorry, I'm rushing a little bit.
No, it's okay. Let me just take a swig here. Hold on.
I'm pouring. Ah, yes.
Huh. Interesting.
And interesting. He doesn't hate it.
I don't hate it. It's very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And then at first, it's kind of like your standard New England IPA, but then gradually, all the hops come back on the back end, but don't totally dry your mouth out.
So you get some beer up front, you get the juiciness, and then the hop comes back at the end, but not like a drying Sahara.
No, it dries it out a little bit, but not too much.
It's a pleasant dry out.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. All right, we're getting right to it because we were doing our running back rankings tonight, but there is so much news erupting throughout the sports world. I'm not even giving you an option tonight. I am giving the first question because I have so much stuff on my screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go for my two burning hot takes. I'm going to go outside of football.
Okay.
I want some outside information here. So there seems to be a trend going around on social media of a common question being asked. At least I've seen it in a couple places. The baseball season that's about to happen.
Sure it is.
We hope. The baseball season that's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a shortened season, because the NL is going to have a DH, there are some purists out there who say it doesn't matter who wins the World Series. It's an asterisk season. There's nothing you can do about it. My question to you, Craig, if the Yankees win the World Series in this shortened season, which a lot of people say they might, if they win the World Series, will you consider it less of an accomplishment than if they had won a regular season? Will it tarnish it for you?
I would still be happy they won, but, it's half a season, so, if baseball started on time and the Yankees, So if baseball starts, I don't know, next month, let's say, so they play half a season, Yankees win, that's good, that's great. But, if they played starting in April, March, who the hell knows what would happen. So I would be happy if I would understand if baseball put an asterisk next to it. So,
but will you, in your mind and in your memory, will it be an asterisk season, or will it just be, hey, it's another Yankee championship?
To me, it would be somewhere in the middle, honestly.
Okay.
I would be, they can add another ring to their list, which is great, but it's kind of tarnished a little bit. So honestly, with baseball, I don't know if they put sponsor ads on uniforms. I don't even know if I'm going to watch baseball.
Oh, really? Why is that a line for you?
It just bugs me. That's
right.
fine
for
NASCAR.
Ever. NASCAR, soccer, WNBA, everybody has done this for ages. Soccer's done it for decades.
Yeah.
Soccer renames teams based on its sponsors. Don't you remember the Red Bulls? I mean,
yes.
Come on. They'll change the mascot of the
what it was for me after all the arguing with players and owners going back and forth about money and how much they should get paid and blah 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 blah. Okay. I think when they added that onto it, that kind of just pushed me over the edge. If all that other stuff didn't happen, and then they said they were gonna put logos randomly on uniforms, I might have been all right with it. But I'm actually impressed that they agreed on anything. So.
Here's my take. It's very simple. I will absolutely celebrate it as a regular championship for my Mets. End of story. Don't care.
Oh, before I forget, did you know next season, 2021, they purposely scheduled the Yankees and the Mets to play on September 11th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck getting tickets to that game.
No, we'll be watching it here, but
there'll be a lot of drunk people. That is one of those. Have you ever been to a Mets-Yankee game?
No.
Live? Okay.
No.
The cop to the police officer to fan ratio is like 10-1. You can't the police are everywhere. At least in the beginning it was. I think it's gotten better since. But when the rivalry first started, you thought half of New York City's police force was in the stadium because it was constant fighting, and that's what it'll be because it'll be 9/11. Emotions will run high. People will be drinking $15 and $20 beers. It'll be a shit show.
Yes.
It'll be a shit show. So I will watch that. I will watch that game from here and be totally happy with it. So, all right. So what do you got for me?
Man. I mean, do I even want to bring it up? Should I bring it up?
There's so much story. There's so many news stories.
I mean, all right, fine. Since I know we have a lot to talk about, quick response. How do you feel about Deshaun and his Instagram post that he then deleted and then apologized for?
As I have posted on our own Twitter account, I have no tolerance. So if you have not been to the Fignuts DFS, at Fignuts DFS is our Twitter. We have a pinned message at the top of our board that says, I don't care who you are or what you do, if you post hate against anybody, prepare to be blocked. I'm just not going to deal with you. End of story. And that's where I'm at with it. So Deshaun made a stupid mistake. I have heard some broadcasters say, listen, the guy owned his mistake. It was a mistake. Let's not, kill him over this. I've heard other people say there's no moving forward. I've seen other players come out and say maybe he had a point, which just tries. Bottom line, the apology was insufficient. The actions are what's going to define where we go from here. And frankly, I'm grateful Deshaun Jackson's relevancy in fantasy is minimal now.
It is. It used to not be.
He's minimal now. He does not matter in my fantasy universe. So to be honest with you, I don't really care. It's bad. It's bad. I'm not excusing it, but I saw that come across my radar. I read the article and I was like, screw that guy, and I moved on. We at the Football Fignuts, we disagree on a lot of things, but we all agree, you, me, and the other members of our team have always agreed that people should be treated like people, and we don't have any place for hate. Now, if people want to forgive him for that and say, okay, well, you know what, he deserves another chance, that's fine. I'm not opposed to that. But you know what? You have to be smarter than that. You have to be.
So what do you think was a bigger flub, that or Drew? I think this is.
I think because Drew Brees is a more high-profile player, that factors into it too. Again,
True.
Where you are in the public eye matters too.
True.
You know, I think they're both bad flubs. And there's the other thing: Drew Brees comes out and apologizes and is like, "I'm going to talk to my teammates and try to listen more." And everybody's like, "All right, whatever, we'll forget about it." He apologizes, and people are still jumping on the bandwagon. We got to curtail your rage. Focus your rage at the stuff that matters. Not guys like Deshaun Jackson who made a stupid comment out of an uneducated point of ignorance. End of story with that. So that's how I feel. I'm not crucifying the guy. I want to see what he does next. If the next thing he does is hate-filled and negative, then I'm done with him. You know? But if he actually makes a genuine effort to like do the right thing going forward, pardon the phrase, then you know, I'm fine with it. People make mistakes, but at the same time, in the public eye, you've got to be careful. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I think I know everyone is stressed. Everyone is mad and not happy, and I get it. I get it. But yeah, you really people need to focus their anger on things that matter. You know, and I think this is a really good learning point in Deshaun's life, considering the owner of the Eagles and the GM and his coach were affected by what he said. So as long as he has an actual conversation with the three of them, or one at a time, or whatever, and learn something out of it, then fine.
And let's just be honest. You brought it up. It's a great point. There's more important things. The President of the United States today said, ignore Anthony Fauci. He's been wrong too many times. Am I more worried about a pandemic and a leader who is dismissing the top experts? Or am I more worried about what Deshaun Jackson has in his heart in terms of racism and possible like negativity? Priorities, folks. Let's survive the pandemic first.
Yes.
Let's worry about the fact that
we're still the first wave.
Yeah, and the guy running the country has no clue what he's doing. I know Craig hates when I get political, so I'm not going to go further than that. But the bottom line is he has not the faintest clue what he's doing. So I'm more worried about that and trying to keep my family safe than Deshaun Jackson being ignorant right now. That is the bigger issue to me, because one is going to kill me, and Deshaun Jackson's ignorance is only going to kill him.
True.
That's where I'm at. Keep yourself safe. Keep yourself perspective. That being said, you know, again, and that's dangerous to say, as a Caucasian male, well, then, you know, well, if it doesn't affect you, well, do you care about Black Lives Matter? Absolutely. That's going to cost us lives. Deshaun Jackson's ignorance is not going to cost us lives. The real issues, there are too many real issues for me to worry about Instagram posts that Deshaun Jackson has put up.
And then deleted.
I'm pleased that he apologized. I don't think his apology was enough. He's going to have to act on it.
I wonder how that, after he made that video and people on the team saw it, and you know his like agent saw it, I wonder what that phone conversation was like.
It can't have been comfortable, and it shouldn't have been.
No.
It shouldn't have been. The ultimate, I mean, and we talk about one of the things that kills me in popular culture right now is this term cancel culture. Every time somebody does something bad, you have to get them fired or pull their sponsors if they're a TV person. But cancel culture is a BS excuse for people holding accountability to public figures. It's a BS excuse. So, you know what? That should be uncomfortable. That is a consequence. What people out there are calling cancel culture is a consequence. If you're a TV personality and you get on TV and you say something objectively stupid, and people say, well, I'm not going to sponsor you anymore, that's not the culture mob coming for you. That is what we call consequences.
Yes.
If I walk out into the street naked screaming, download the Football Fignuts podcast, and I get arrested, I can't be upset when no one downloads my podcast.
Or maybe the numbers will go up.
I can't be upset when the local paper says ugly fat naked man arrested screaming download the Football Fignuts podcast, and it doesn't result in more downloads. That's just common sense. Why would I support something financially that is diametrically opposed to what I believe in as a human being? Oh, that's cancel culture. You're trying to cost people their jobs. You guys are a mob. No, we have a brain in our heads. And I'm telling you right now, I don't want to support people who support stupidity. So, yeah, I am going to sit there and say, yeah, I'm not going to support businesses that advertise on shows that I think are misinformation and things like that. That's called accountability. People want to label it something different because they want to feel better about it and they want to excuse themselves from it. Oh, well, my show. Bill O'Reilly got fired from Fox News, right? Bill O'Reilly. Oh, he was fired because the culture mob got him. No. He was fired because he was an idiot and he was held accountable for what he did. End of story, folks. I'm backing off of it because we have too much to talk about. But seriously, I'm so tired. That phone call for Deshaun Jackson should be uncomfortable. It needs to be uncomfortable because that is how we learn about how to do better the next time.
True.
All right,
if no one's heard it before, you can go look up what he said. So.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not going to go into what he said because it's offensive. But, that's where it is. Okay.
Yep.
I'll move on.
Yes, next question.
So I lied. I'm going to – because my third question was a little politically charged, so I'm going to move away from it and go to the backup question.
All right.
For those who don't know, every week I keep a backup question. I rarely go to it, but I'm going to it this week. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes' fat check. Let's talk about how the guy, what was that? Go ahead.
I would say he is no longer allowed to do anything other than play football and video games. He can't do anything.
And the video games, he has to have someone else holding the controller. He can just yell at them what he wants them to do. This is a guy who already was not going to pay for another meal for the rest of his life in Kansas City. Put this in historical context. There are only two men who have ever won a Super Bowl in a Kansas City Chief uniform as quarterback. 2. In 50 years. He was never paying for another meal in Kansas City ever again. Now, he can buy whatever he wants.
Right.
Now, my question to you is, all right, so the Patrick Mahomes deal is worth, on paper, $503 million.
$500 million.
The upfront money, though, is actually less than what Russell Wilson got last year. Wilson was guaranteed $70 million. Mahomes was only guaranteed $63. People are now calling this a sweetheart deal for the team because there are so many outs for the team. But if Patrick Mahomes does play for the Chiefs for the next 10 years, he's going to make $500 million. Craig, fair or foul, and who got the better deal, the team or the player?
I mean, I guess it's good. It's good for Patrick, so it's fair to him. I don't know the Chiefs' financials, so I don't know what this is going to do to contracts over the next, say, 3-4 seasons, or but I think it works out for both. If this is what Patrick wanted, this is what they agreed on, and both of them have, not that something bad would happen, but say one or the other party just wants to end it, then that's good. So
here's the thing about this. This does not kill their cap, and that's a huge thing. They had going into this a little more than $6 million, about $6.5 million going into this deal. Coming out of this deal, I'm looking at over the cap, they have $6.2 million in cap space for 2020. 2021, right now, that number is $35 million in cap space.
Huh.
Forecasted 2022, $107 million. Now, wait a minute, Britt. How is that even possible?
What kind of devil math is that?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, because a lot of guys are getting towards the lighter end of their deals. So their cap numbers are actually decreasing. For example, Tyreek Hill signed that contract extension last year, right? His cap number for 2020 is 17.7 mil. But in 2021, it goes down to 15.8. That's almost $2 million in savings against the cap.
Oh.
So Patrick Mahomes is due to make all this money. In 2020, his cap number is only $5.3 million. It does go up to 24.8. But in 2022, it goes up to 31, and then it goes up as high as 42. But don't forget, they have a third year out. After that 2022 season where he's a $31 million hit, they can kill the contract and avoid that $42 million hit. So it is somewhat sweetheart, and it does give them some wiggle room. Wiggle room. The Chiefs don't have a lot of guys guaranteed past 2022. Right now, the only 3 guys in 2023, so 4 years from now, the only guys with cap numbers right now counting against the Kansas City Chiefs are Patrick Mahomes, Frank Clark, and Harrison Butker, our kicker. That's it. Right now, based on the fact that we would only have 3 players in the roster 4 years from now, they've got $166 million in cap space.
Not even Kelsey?
No.
Huh.
Kelsey's contract is coming due.
Yeah, I think it's next year.
I'm looking right now. I don't see him under 2022. Let me see it because you can bring it. All right, Travis Kelsey is an $11 million hit in 2020. And he is a $9 million hit. So there it is, too. You're the best tight end in the league, and for the next 2 years, his combined cap hit is $20 million.
So I guess this math did work out.
And now it allows them to go into 2020 and say to Travis, let's talk about 2021. Let's talk about it. What do you want to do? And go forward with that. So I love it. I'm super psyched that he'll be there forever. And I think it's a win-win deal because if he plays out the deal, which he thinks he's going to do, obviously.
Now, does it concern you that Andy Reid may not be there the whole 10 years?
Nope. I'm surprised Andy Reid didn't retire after this Super Bowl. Dead honesty.
Fair.
This was his thing, right? He'd never won one.
No, he almost did it in Philly, and that didn't happen.
The only thing he doesn't want to do, and this is just me talking based on 0.0 personal knowledge. It's not like Andy Reid and I had donuts the other day over at the shop. Socially distant, by the way. What's that?
You didn't bring donuts?
I didn't bring donuts. Where are the donuts? What was that? That was an NBA player, right? Was the rookie? Was the guy who was like, "Where's my donuts?" That was a rookie hazing thing. But anyway, this is just me. I just think he doesn't want to go out as a loser. I just think he wants to go out as clean as he can and thinking he set Kansas City up. And I don't think he wants to stop working right now. I think in his mind, and again, I don't know. I've never run into Andy Reid, so I don't know. I think this is his last stop. I think he wants to retire after this, kind of Dick Vermeil-ish in terms of like he's going to a couple places. He wants this to be his last stop. So he just wants to play. He just wants to do this as long as he feels like he can do it. Now, if Kansas City wins 6 games this year, maybe he decides it's time to hang it up. I don't know. But I don't think so. So.
But you know what? After those 10 years are up, the Mets are still going to be paying Bobby Bonilla.
That's right. That's right.
The smartest man in sports.
And this is not a joke when I tell you this. I'm pretty sure that deal will outlive me. It's like 2035. It's another 15 years. That means I'd have to live to 60, and Craig's seen me eat. That's a stretch.
Smartest man in professional sports ever, folks.
Smartest agent ever.
Yes.
Smartest agent ever. So the agent walks in the room and goes, "Listen, I got this idea." and here we are. So.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our main topic because we are so. I'm already behind because I went on a political rant. It's time to talk about running backs. So, as always, I start back and look at our 2019 projections. Of the top 10 running backs in fantasy football, according to CBS Sports in a PPR, how many of them do you think we hit on out of 10?
Out of 10? 6.
Well, that's pretty good because we hit on exactly 5.
That's close.
That's pretty good.
That's close.
So, Saquon Barkley, Zeke Elliott. Now, to be fair, we had Barkley at 1, and he finished 10th. But still, he was a top 10. Barkley, Zeke, McCaffrey, Kamara, and Cook. All top 10. People we had in the top 10. So our top four all made the top 10, which was great. People we had missed on. Joe Mixon. We had him at 5. Craig and I were big on him. CBS was big on him too. I remember reading a bunch of articles on Joe Mixon last year. No. Melvin Gordon didn't hit. David Johnson didn't hit.
No.
James Conner got hurt, and Le'Veon Bell decided to be Le'Veon Bell. So those were the guys we missed on in the top 10. But this year will be different. I hope.
Maybe.
Let's talk about Let's talk about the guys we have for 2020 in our running back rankings. And we do come from a PPR perspective, folks, so keep that in mind. Our number one is a shocker. It's Christian McCaffrey.
Dun dun.
Now, historically on this podcast, our number one projection has not done well the year we projected him number one.
So we just jinxed him. Perfect.
We projected Saquon last year. The year before that, I think we projected Le'Veon. Or that might have been the year before that when he just got injured. But either way, Christian McCaffrey, Craig, clearly the number one, I think, on our board. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to move on and we can discuss the three because we were consensus not only on number one, but on the top three. Every member of our team had McCaffrey at 1, Saquon Barkley at 2, and Ezekiel Elliott at 3. Now, Craig has recently had some concerns about Zeke.
Yes.
And on Twitter, I did see one analyst ask openly, why do I see Zeke being faded? Craig, tell us why people might not want to draft Zeke in their top 3 running backs.
Okay, so Zeke, good running back, held out last year, came back not in the best of shape ever, still had a decent year. Okay.
Got better as it went on.
Right. Got more in shape, got his wind back, as they say. Then all of a sudden, COVID comes along.
Dun, dun, dun.
Then all of a sudden, people on the Cowboys, including Zeke, test positive for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Zeke, as you know, really quick, COVID does affect your breathing, or can affect your breathing.
Lives in the lungs.
Then a week after he got sick, he did an interview, which it was really short. It was maybe 2 minutes, maybe. And he's sitting there and he's talking, and you can see him pause and take like a noticeably deep breath. Like, so when my dad was around, he smoked, he had COPD. It was almost like that, where you're talking to somebody and they just like, so then, because I was saying, like, just take a randomly deep breath because they're out of breath, even though they're not doing anything. And then, like last week, Zeke is on Twitch trying to relax. He leaves his stream on, and then he starts talking about how he's, getting high, which also affects your breathing. And here's another thing, folks. If you look at people who've had COVID or have COVID, especially people in sports, like I forgot who it was. It's someone that plays baseball. Can't remember who it was. He's had it for a month, and he's still not better. And he said he feels like crap.
Yeah.
And he can't play. He has no idea when he's going to be able to play again.
So, all that being said, are you downgrading him from your original prediction of 3?
I may drop him to... Let's see what we have here. I may drop him to, like, say, 6. But if you do draft Ezekiel Elliott, for the love of God, draft his backup.
Handcuff. That is absolutely a handcuff situation. I'll disagree with my esteemed partner in that I would not hesitate to draft Zeke at 3, but that means I am absolutely looking at every ADP I can find, and I'm finding whatever the highest ADP is for Tony Pollard, and I'm grabbing him there.
I've been drafting him in best ball.
Yes. Best ball. I mean, that's exactly what you should do. So, but we all like McCaffrey, Barkley, and Elliott. I think Saquon. I have high hopes for the Giants this year. High hopes.
I think both New York teams will be better this year. They're not going to go to the playoffs, but I think they'll be better.
I don't know. The East in both conferences is so
broken.
Iffy. Iffy's the word of it. Who the New England dynasty is probably over in terms of what we're expecting out of the dominance of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we really think Buffalo is that strong a contender that they're definitely going to dominate? Because I don't.
Honestly, I think it depends on their defense and how many touchdowns Josh Allen can run for. So they do have Diggs, so maybe. I don't know.
So New England could still win that division in my head. Now the NFC East, the Cowboys are a mess. One of them can't breathe. The other one wants a new contract, and Amari Cooper is just saying, "Hello, I'm at practice. Where's everybody else?" Philadelphia is one Carson Wentz injury away. Whoa, Craig, did I lose you?
Nope. Hello? You there?
We just had a brownout here.
Oh, cool.
Like, all the lights in my room just flickered. I hope somebody in my building holding a seance?
They might be.
Wow, that was really weird. Everything just flickered, but you're still here, so that's good. Philadelphia, 1 or 2 better. Who is the Philadelphia running back? Miles Sanders. What do we know about him?
I don't know.
have zero confidence in Miles Sanders becoming a lead back.
Their offensive line is broken, so...
Yes, zero confidence. Okay, so the Giants are and Washington can't even decide what they call themselves.
No.
Because after like 20 years of going, we will never change our names. We don't care if you think it's racist. All of a sudden, FedEx went, well, we're going to take the name off the field. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, easy, buddy.
Did we say never? We meant not now, but that was then. And now is now, so maybe now.
Yep. You can do that. You can do that when you name a stadium.
I said to my wife when that whole thing started to happen, I said, I know you don't give a damn about football. I said, this guy has forever, for like the last 20 years that he's owned the team, and it hasn't been 20 years, but it feels like 20 years that Dan Snyder's been there. Maybe it has been. He's always said, we will always keep this name. I said, watch. The moment FedEx says we're going to pull our name off the stadium, and DC says we're not going to let you move into your new stadium, he'll start to change his tune. And like literally 6 hours later, news brief, Washington is open to a name change.
Yep.
And I was just like, yep. Because that's all he cares about. Daniel Snyder doesn't care about winning. He cares about money.
That's
money,
true.
Money, money.
Have you watched the Redskins? That's true.
Somebody walked up to him and said, do you realize if we changed our name and our logo and we issued all new merchandise, how much our merchandise sale would increase? Everybody who has a Haskins jersey would have to run out and buy the new Haskins jersey.
New ones, eh?
And that's exactly it.
Jackets.
That's exactly it. Do you remember the Kentucky Fried Movie? That terrible movie from the 70s?
It's amazingly funny. It's
amazingly bad and funny. There's a part of it. So it's a sketch movie. But
Big
there's a
Jim
part.
Slade.
Yep, that's where I'm going with it. They do a parody, which is probably considered pretty bad now, in terms of racial sensitivity. They do a Bruce Lee parody, and at first the main character is like, absolutely not. I will not take on your mission. I'm not going to do this. And then finally the English spy master is like, yes, but you'll have the opportunity to kill 30, maybe 40 men. And all of a sudden the main character leans back and goes, oh, that's Dan Snyder. That's Dan Snyder right here. I'm never changing our name. Yes, but you might make $30,000 or $40,000 more in jersey sales if you do. Oh, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. So,
yep.
All right. So Zeke, we have at 3. We have Kamara at 4, and then we have a tie at 5 between Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry. I don't know what to make of Derrick Henry.
He's a big dude that can run through people.
But he was supposed to be good forever, and then finally last year he was good. I don't know if he can put 2 years together. So I'll ask you this. And again, folks, we are going to do a huge roundtable event with multiple members of our podcast in August. So we're just kind of going over the rankings today. But you face the choice. You get up, and you've got to pick running back, and your choices are Cook or Henry. What are you doing?
First reaction is Henry, because Cook has an injury history, and Cook also wants a new contract, so I don't know what Cook is doing.
That's exactly where I'm at, too. So, number 7 is our dear
friend... Get
on
the train.
Joe Mixon. One of us, Cinch, ranked him outside the top 10. Every other member of our podcast team has him in the top 10. So I disagree with Cinch there. I think this, and this is not going to be shocking, a lot of people think this is the year that Joe Mixon breaks out. I've heard that from multiple sources.
New QB, new offensive line, second-year coach.
Somebody put out on Twitter, give me your hot take, the hill that you're willing to die on, and I put Joe Mixon as a top 5 QB this year, and I immediately got RB. Top 5 RB this year, and I immediately got a response from like 3 different analysts saying that is not a hot take. That's widely considered, that's a given. And I was like, really? Because last year, everyone told me I was nuts when I put him at like number 6. And they were like, no, Joe Mixon's a top 5 running back. We have no idea what you're talking about. No one ever said that. And I'm like, here's your tweet. Last year you said, you're crazy. Mixon might be top 10. And people were like, I don't know where you found that, but that wasn't me. I mean, seriously.
I was drunk.
I was drunk. I was just doing that because I lost a bet. Whatever. So Joe Mixon at number 7. We have Aaron Jones at 8, and I think that's going to be – this is where the cliff hits, folks. The first cliff is after the top 3, maybe the top 4, because Craig's a Kamara truther. After the top 4. But then you hit Joe Mixon, and then we drop down to Aaron Jones. And here's where the disagreements began in our rankings. I think Aaron Jones is going to hold on to his spot. I understand the A.J. Dillon thing is concerning. I think they're going to run Jones into the ground before they go to Dillon. That's my thought. Do you think Aaron Jones is reliable in a top 10 situation?
He has, as Sean mentioned, he did play 16 games, but he wasn't 100% for 16 games. So I don't think the Packers, because they really didn't have any. They had other running backs, but they were still going to let Aaron Jones play.
Right.
But now that they have A.J. Dillon, I think they're going to throw A.J. Dillon in more and give Aaron Jones a break more often. Because I think the Packers now are going to become the whole running back by committee thing, because everyone saw how it worked in New Orleans with Kamara and Ingram, and they're like, hey, we should do that.
Which is exactly what Aaron Rodgers wants to have happen, because he knows if he doesn't – he's in the Alex Smith role from 2 years ago or 3 years ago right now. He's playing for his job. So – all right, so number 9, we have Kenyon Drake. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, because Craig and wow, I ranked him as top 10 too.
You did.
Was I
see that?
Drunk?
You might have been.
Wow. All right, so we think Kenyon Drake will bounce back a little bit now that he's in Arizona. He can't do any worse than his predecessor. But Number 10, we've got Josh Jacobs. Health is my only concern there. Health and the fact that they don't have anything else.
I have Darren Waller. That's about it.
But I have no faith in Carr. I have none left.
I don't even know who their backup is.
Behold the field in which my shits grow. Notice that it is barren, for I can give you no shits. I can't with Derek Carr. I just can't. I'm so tired of just... There's a great episode to have before the season.
Sure.
Guys, I just can't anymore.
And Carr's one of them.
Right. I found out today that Ricky Seals-Jones is on the Chiefs. Don't care. I did not even know he was there. Even know he is. I didn't even know he was there.
Remember when he was like the next big thing?
Didn't he get arrested or something?
I may have. He switched teams like 4 times.
Don't even care that he's there. Don't. So Josh Jacobs, if he can stay healthy and avoid the fact that his team stinks. Under the heading of my team stinks is number 11, Nick Chubb. That not only has Cleveland so far failed to live up to its expectations,
dumpster fire.
But it has been for a long time. But Kareem Hunt is still standing on the sidelines.
He's like, hello, remember me?
With his helmet on, ready to go in on third down. I mean, if Kareem Hunt's not there, Nick Chubb might be a top 10 back.
Man, there's a guy who regrets some life choices.
Who, Kareem Hunt?
Yes.
Yeah. Can't wait for him to be watching the Chiefs get their rings remotely. So I don't even get into that. Number 12, we got Miles Sanders. Go ahead.
I was say if you need a backup or a flex once a week maybe.
Nick Chubb's your man.
No, Miles Sanders.
Oh, Miles Sanders. Well, Miles Sanders comes in at 12 for us. I'm going to be clear on this. Miles Sanders was number 20 on my list. He was dead last. I have no faith in the Philadelphia run game. None. The reason he lands at number 12 is because our good friend Sean put him at number 8 overall, and
what?
Craig and Cinch have him. Miles Sanders. Sean has Miles Sanders over Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, and Nick Chubb.
Was he drunk?
Very likely. When I compiled these numbers, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." He missed people. Okay, so let's just out him right now, right? Because Sean doesn't listen. Sean contributes to this podcast. He appears 2 or 3 times a year, and he doesn't listen to the damn thing.
No, so we can say whatever we want about him.
That's right. That's right. Without fear, with the exception of like legal repercussions. What is that? Libel or is that
label?
I don't remember. It's what is printed and what is not.
Deb would know.
Deb would know.
Us.
Hi, Deb. So,
Hi, Deb.
People that Sean failed to rank at all
Okay.
Like, these are people who did not appear in his top 20.
All right.
Mark Ingram.
Okay.
Devin Singletary.
Wait, isn't he a... Okay.
Jonathan Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem Mostert.
Hmm.
And now here's the one where I'm just going to say the name and you go right ahead and say whatever you want to say. David Montgomery.
But what?
I'm going to open another beer while Craig struggles to understand.
He didn't today he tell us how good David Montgomery was going to be?
And who does David Montgomery play for?
He plays for the Bears.
And what is Sean's favorite team?
The Bears.
Sean did not put the number one running back and probably the best offensive weapon on his own team onto the list, but he put Miles Sanders at 8.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am starting to rethink the wisdom of our team.
Oh my God.
So Miles Sanders comes in at number 8. Or no, number 12, rather, because Sean put him at 8. Number 13 is Austin Eckler. Craig can, and again, another person who got a boost because of Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Sean put him at 9. You put him at 19. And this is something that's going to have to come up during the roundtable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to warn him it's coming because he needs to be reminded there's a reason he should listen to the podcast. Why do you think that Austin Eckler is bottom level, like at best an RB2? Don't you think he's going to have like the lion's share now that Gordon's gone?
He's going to, but I think with a new quarterback and just I feel like the Chargers are in complete disarray, and I feel like they're on this not this season, but next season. I feel like the Chargers are just going to go into total rebuild mode.
Yeah, I think they're on the verge of it.
And I think they're just, and I don't think Austin Eckler is going to be part of their rebuild.
I don't know. He might.
I don't know.
Let's see. Number 14, tied for 14th, we have two very interesting picks. We have tied for 14th Mark Ingram and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Why are they tied for 14th? Well, Cinch thinks that Mark Ingram is still a top 10 back and does not rank Helaire at all. Sean didn't rank Ingram, but thinks Helaire is an RB2. You and I both had Ingram at 17th, and you were a little higher on Helaire than I am. So, again, same situation we had with Cook and Henry. You're sitting in the middle rounds. You got to pick a running back. You got Mark Ingram and Clyde Edwards-Helaire staring at you. Which one do you grab?
Staring at me because he's on the Chiefs, Clyde.
Exactly. And I love Mark Ingram.
I've
been a Mark Ingram truther since Kamara was a rookie.
That's true. He was.
People were like, Kamara's going to take away too much of his role. Nope. Didn't happen.
It worked out perfectly for the Saints, actually.
Last year, he's going to the Ravens, and they've got that rookie guy. Nope. He wasn't great. He's getting older, folks. Bad news. People age.
Unless you're Frank Gore.
Unless you're Frank Gore. Don't get me started on Frank Gore. Was that last week or the week before? Did I mention the conversation I had on Twitter about Frank Gore? I don't remember if I mentioned during the podcast last week.
I don't remember.
Long story short, somebody said, what is the one guy
you
have to... I was like, Frank Gore. He's got to be on a team somewhere. I have to have him somewhere. He is my Brokeback. So, I think so. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets the nod there. 16th, I'm moving right along because, believe it or not, we're almost out of time. 16th, we've got Melvin Gordon. I'm higher on Gordon than everybody else. I really think Melvin Gordon is going to engage in a revenge tour.
It could happen.
He's in Denver now, right?
Yes.
I just answered my own damn question. Earlier today, I was asking, why is everybody down on Philip Lindsay? Because Melvin Gordon's there, you dope. You forgot Melvin Gordon was there. I'm like, why is Lindsay sliding down the ADP? Well, that's why. Number 17 is our dear old friend Todd Gurley. Cinch refused to rank him. The rest of us all have him in the RB2 category, resulting in a 17th ranking on our list. I think there's potential for Gurley to rebound.
Depends on his knees.
He's in Atlanta now, right? Did I get that right?
Yep. So, yeah, maybe.
People are big. Matt Ryan went really early in our Scott Fishbowl draft, which is another thing I wanted to get to tonight, but we're not going to get to, except maybe very briefly. But, yeah. 18 is Devin Singletary. I did not rank Devin Singletary, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
They drafted another running back, and they've already said, well, we think that the new guy is going to have a role kind of similar to Frank Gore. And I'm like, wait a minute. The whole reason I'm looking for his name. Why can't I find his name?
It starts with a Z, right?
Oh,
I have to
God.
look it
Zach
up.
Moss? Zach Moss? Zach Moss. Sorry.
That sounds right.
Just drew. You're right. It's Zach, and it starts with a Z. That I just drew a blank. I just had a who's that guy moment for Zach Moss. People are saying Zach Moss is going to have a similar role to Frank Gore. Well, what was the slight on Devin Singletary? Well, he doesn't get the lion's share because Frank Gore is there. So if you're telling me that Zach Moss is just going to become Frank Gore, then why would I rank Singletary up?
Yeah, because fantasy, folks, touchdowns matter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And maybe this is just BS, but the team is saying that Moss is going to take a share of the carries. It's something you got to be concerned about. So that's why I've got Singletary low. I'm just going to get through our top 20. 19, we've got James Conner. I ranked actually James Conner at 11. I was the only one to put him that high. Craig, you did not even rank James Conner. What's your concern?
My concern is injury. It just is again. I feel like the Steelers are in the same position as the Chargers. Like, I feel like they're in this weird gray area where they don't really know what's going on, and
Yeah.
they have like 3 quarterbacks now, and I don't know.
Talking about the Steelers.
Yeah,
Steelers.
The Steelers.
If they don't win this year, that's how I feel they are too. I feel like this is a make or break year for Mike Tomlin and this team. Last year, there was like, well, Roethlisberger was, oh God.
Roethlisberger. There you go.
Put a beer in him, and he can't say Roethlisberger. Last year, they were able to point at that and say, well, that's why we didn't succeed. He's back. Connor's healthy. Juju is bad but healthy. You've got to succeed this year, or it's going to look bad. I mean, at what point do you start talking about making a coaching change? The Steelers are notoriously patient with their coaches. Notoriously patient.
Yes.
But, all right, and tied for 20th, we have a 3-way tie for the last spot on our top 20 list between Leonard Fournette, Chris Carson, and Le'Veon Bell. Pick one and give me a reason why.
Le'Veon Bell, new offensive line, new tight end. They can run double tight. Frank Gore is there to give him a rest, and he's not broken like the other two.
Okay, Leonard Fournette is the correct answer. Leonard Fournette was the number 7 running back in a PPR last year, 17.3 points per game on a team he hated and wanted to get out of. He is going to do the exact same thing this year and try to get the hell out of there. So I'll take Leonard Fournette over both of them there. Really quick, our also-rans. 23rd, we had Jonathan Taylor. 24 was Raheem Mostert. And 25, we had a tie between Damian Williams and David Montgomery. The only person to put David Montgomery in the top 20 was me. Everyone else left him off the list, including Sean, which is only an issue because Sean is a damn Bears fan. That blows my mind. That would be like me saying I'm not going to rank Hilaire.
Yep, or I'm not going to rank Mixon.
I'm not going to rank Mahomes. I'm not going to rank the best offensive player on my team for whatever reason. It's mind blowing.
It is. And then really quick, folks, Raheem Mostert wants to get traded.
Oh my God. So are you subscribed to our sleeper stream? Craig, do you get our sleeper notifications?
Yeah.
Did you see the guy flip out because Raheem Mostert wants to be traded in our Dynasty League?
No, I didn't see that one.
So he just flips out, like he just puts up there, how do you react when the best player in the guy you trusted with your running game, how do you react when the guy you trust with your running game tells you he wants to be traded? And then he immediately responded by updating Raheem Mostert to on the block. Like, go ahead and make a trade offer. And I was like, really? Because he's capable. What if he gets traded to a contender? What if the next message you get is he's a New England Patriot?
Then
or
what?
He's trying to think of another good fit that would be like instant, like, oh my God.
Seahawks?
He's in Houston. He's in Seattle. What if all of a sudden that is your option?
Raheem Mostert in Seattle. I like that.
It's not crazy.
No, it's not. I like the way that sounds.
All right, so really quick before we sign off, Craig and I have been very excited. We are in the Scott Fishbowl 10 League. We are in the Snoopy Snow Cone Machine division. We had the 4 pick. So really quick, in lieu of my final thought, I'm just going to go over what we've done so far. So in the first, we're picking 4th overall out of 12. We grabbed Saquon Barkley in the first round. The order went McCaffrey, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. It's a 2 QB league with very specific rules that benefit efficient QBs. We grabbed Barkley, and I said we're going to get a wide receiver. We're going to get a quarterback on the way back. Somebody will be there. The best guy there was Russell Wilson, so we grabbed Russell Wilson in the second round. Very happy. Our first start was Barkley and Wilson. In round 3, I decided to reach. I looked at Josh Jacobs. I looked at Leonard Fournette. I looked at Todd Gurley, and I actually went and grabbed Hilaire. So I was very happy there. Now, the other thing you need to know about this league is that we have a tight end bonus. So tight ends get a 1.5 PPR. So by the time I had taken Hilaire, everybody but Zach Ertz that matters, Kelsey, Kittle, and Andrews had already gone. And Zach Ertz went with the next pick. So Craig and I had a convo, and we're like, what are we going to do? Are we just going to give up on tight end and get the best available, or are we going to go and grab our tight end? And we decided we're going to go grab Darren Waller. So we got Barkley, Wilson, Hilaire, and Waller. Coming back around, I caused a stir because I decided that this is my team. My name is on it. I've got to make a move, and there's such efficiency bonuses between passer and receiver that pairing them up makes sense. Just to put this in perspective, at the turn, the very first turn, the team that's drafting 12th took Michael Thomas and then Drew Brees immediately. Passed on Deshaun Watson, passed on Russell Wilson, passed on Matt Ryan because they wanted that combo. So I said, you know what? I want Daniel Jones throwing the ball to Saquon Barkley all the goddamn time. So I went out and got Daniel Jones. This set off a firestorm.
I was okay with it.
Cinch has not stopped telling me I was wrong about this yet. It's been a day. And it's almost like, hey, did you guys order any beer this week? By the way, Daniel Jones was a draft mistake. Don't care. Don't care. So we have Daniel Jones and it's a 2 QB league, so I was not upset with getting a second QB. On the way back, I listened to Craig because I took executive control and I got Daniel Jones, so I took Devontae Parker next. Now, you should know at that point, 20 other wideouts had gone. We're in round 6. 20 other wideouts had gone. Big Bob Woods had gone right before that. Sutton had gone before that. Keenan Allen had gone. There wasn't a lot there, and Craig and I both thought we needed a wideout. So then coming back around, we're in round 7. We draft DK Metcalf because now we've got our QB2 paired up with our running back who catches passes, and our QB1 paired up with the guy I think is going to end up being the number 1 in Seattle. I don't think Lockett. It's going to be big. Craig, have you looked at it since I did that?
I have not looked at who is gone after your pick.
All right, so we were mostly through the 7th round. We took DK Metcalf. Then Jimmy Garoppolo went.
What? Okay.
Yep. Followed by Ronald Jones.
All right.
This is where we've fallen off like the 3rd cliff of running backs here. The next pick was Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
Followed by Terry McLaurin. DJ Shark.
Really?
And Damian Williams.
Wow.
Damian Williams goes in the 7th round as RB 31.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, I'm saying to myself, crap, all I've got is Barkley and Hilaire. Question to you before I close up.
Yeah.
We still have an open hole at starting wide receiver. We are like 12 picks away from going. Do I have to get another running back and think flex, or do I have to try and get a wideout because 31 running backs are already off the board, and DJ Shark just went at wide receiver number 25? There's still a couple of guys out there. What do I do, Craig? Tell me, what do I do?
All right. Receiver this year is really deep, especially with the rookies that were drafted. I think we might have to look at what running backs are left.
The best available running back is Devin Singletary, the guy I just said I can't trust.
Who's after that?
Kerryon Johnson.
Oh, dear.
The next name down is a guy I think might have potential. It's James White.
Oh, all right.
Oh, we got to monitor this. I can't talk too much about this on the air because we're going to release this tomorrow, and somebody's going to sit there and go, I better snatch up
James White, eh?
In which case, I'm really looking at Ricky Seals-Jones. If I can't get Ricky Seals-Jones, it's definitely going to be Virgil Green. But one of those two are going next. Leave us a review wherever you listen to us. Apple, Stitcher, wherever you listen to us, please leave us a review. We really enjoy it. Communicate with us. We are fignutsdfs@gmail.com. or we are on Twitter at FignutsDFS. That was my final thought. Craig, your final thought before we sign off.
Final thoughts, folks. As of right now, this season's happening, and like Britt mentioned before, it's time to start. Just do some mock drafts, do some best ball drafts. Just get in the swing of drafting.
Yep. And if you're listening to us and you're in the Snoopy Snowcone division, my next pick is most definitely going to be Jeff Driscoll. No question. I'm looking at Jeff Driscoll square in the eye. Take that for what it's worth. We'll be back next week with our wide receiver rankings.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. Let's hope there's not as much news and political stuff to distract, because wide receivers going to take wide receivers. There's like you said, you're absolutely right. There's such depth there. It's going to take us an entire episode to talk about wide receivers. But we will be back next week. We appreciate you listening to us. Give us some feedback at the places I listed. Until next week, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast.